Hello and welcome to the debate table. Today we are debating social debates. First question.
Abortion should be available to all women.
Yes. Because for one, not everybody wants kids. And pregnancy is a result of sex, and there are just some people who can't handle that.
It shouldn't be used as a form of birth control, though.
No.
I think it should be like a 3 strikes you're out.
Yeah.
You know, if let's say you go out and get pregnant just because you forgot to use a condom or you forgot to take a pill, you know, granted, you don't want kids, have your abortion, but then if you're irresponsible enough to do that at least 3 times, then it should be like mandatory. You should have your tubes tied, period. No more screw ups for you.
Right. I mean, I do believe that abortion should be the last option. But if you can't even afford the medical bills that this baby's going to come with, then you either need to get an abortion or get your tubes tied.
Well, yeah, but you have a lot of people saying, oh, well, you shouldn't abort the baby. You should just put it up for adoption. Well, that's all great, but there's tons and tons of kids out there that are in foster homes that
Who are being
they're going to age out in foster care because people don't want them.
Exactly. I mean, it is so much harder for an older kid to get adopted by a family than it is for like a baby or a toddler.
Well, yeah, but even if it's a baby or a toddler, you know, chances are a lot of times they're going to age out into the system.
Yeah.
And they're put in these foster care homes, which some of these foster care homes are worse than, you know,
The people they would have actually been born to.
yeah. And I mean, if you don't want a child, in my opinion, it's, you know, since the foster care system is already, you know, overrun.
Right.
In my opinion, if, you know, you find out you're pregnant and you don't want children, to me, it'd be better to abort the child, you know, terminate the pregnancy, rather than have the child born into a household where, you know, he's unloved, he's mistreated, and all that stuff, just because people say, oh, well, you know, it's unethical to abort a pregnancy.
And what about all the babies that are products of rape?
Well, yeah, I mean, some women just can't handle carrying, you know, a child from rape to term because it just brings up too much, you know.
And they say, oh, well, it's not the child's fault. It's okay, well, it's not the mother's fault either.
No. But I mean, that also goes along with, and I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, if a woman goes and gets pregnant and it's not by product of rape or incest and there is no physical danger to the mother, she should have to get consent from the father of that child.
Oh, of course.
Before she gets an abortion.
Yes, because, I mean, it takes 2 people to make a baby.
But men don't have that choice. I mean,
I know,
men
and that's
can't sit
really
there and
sad.
say, yeah, men can't sit there and say, okay, well, I choose to take responsibility of the child. Because everybody's all like, oh, well, it's the woman's body, you know.
It may be the woman's body, but it's also that man's child.
I mean, if the man's not going to step up and take care of the kid, and she doesn't want the kid,
Then by all means, get an
or,
abortion.
you know, yeah, get an abortion, make sure you're, you know, responsible next time.
Yes.
And, you know, some women are going to need therapy if, you know, later on down the line, if, you know, they weren't really sure on, you know, decision they made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean,
I agree too.
Should human cloning be legalized?
No.
that's a hard debate. That all depends.
On what? We're overpopulated as it is.
Yes,
Why would you
yes,
want to clone
yes.
yourself?
I
The only
understand.
reason I would want to clone myself is so my other self can clean the house so I don't have to. That's the only reason I would clone myself.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Right? I mean, but other than that, no. I mean, there's no logical reason to clone ourselves.
No.
What would be the benefits from it?
Okay, there would be a lot of benefits, okay? Because, I mean, if you clone yourself, something happens to your kidneys, guess what? You've got backup kidneys.
Backup kidneys.
Right, I mean,
Well, okay. I see. But that's just kind of messing with Mother Nature.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That all goes into...
Mother Nature ain't got time for that.
Yes, but that all goes into, does a clone have a soul? I mean, are you just reproducing just your body? Or, I mean, because even though it's a clone, even though it's completely 100% identical to you, you know, it's just, it's like a plant.
Well,
You know, you take the cutting off of a plant.
Yeah.
You're cloning the plant.
Yes.
Plant's going to grow the same amount of fruit. You know, it's just, that's the way it is. But when you do a human that way, that human is not going to stay just a perfectly cloned thing.
Oh no.
Because
It's going to be changed in some aspect.
Well, yeah, because you can't recreate the exact experiences that you had growing up. So therefore, this clone would eventually be its own person.
Right.
So would it be ethical to clone this thing, not knowing whether or not, you know, it has a soul or, you know, an unconscious mind, you know?
I guess the only way to figure that out is to start cloning ourselves.
Yeah,
Elon
but
Musk, I'm waiting on my clone.
Yeah, you can't prove. You can't prove the soul. You know, there's no proof that a soul exists. So you're still going on belief.
Yeah.
Okay. But is that ethical to clone something to use as, you know, spare body parts?
And
per
see,
se?
if you clone yourself and then kill it, is that murder or suicide?
Well, that's a whole. That's a whole nother thing. You know, I murdered myself. Yeah. Welcome to the nut house.
All right, we're just going to say all we got to do is wait, see if we actually do clone ourselves.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, if you could prove that there was no soul, and you could prove that this thing is not going to have a completely human experience, then I would say yes, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, because you could use, you know, the body parts.
Right.
But if it is going to be its own person, or it has a soul, then no, it would be completely unethical. It'd be like going out and finding somebody that has the same, you know, blood type that you do, where you could use their kidney and then you just kill them and take their kidney. You know, that'd be the same thing.
Black market.
Yes, it is.
All right. So it's settled.
Should genetic engineering be legal?
To what
No.
extent?
Well, they're trying to make it to where you can genetically modify your children.
Well,
Like,
again,
say
to what extent?
Like if you want a baby that's born with blonde hair and blue eyes, but both you and your spouse have both brown hair and brown eyes.
Right.
That, you know, that's pretty much that's genetic engineering.
Well, I know what I know what the genetic engineering is, but there's different aspects of that. You're talking about cosmetic.
Yeah.
You know, I want my kid to have, you know, tan skin. I want my kid to have blue eyes. I want my kid to have black hair.
Yeah.
What about, I don't want my kid to be born with Down syndrome. Yeah. What about, I don't want my kid born mentally retarded? Or, you know, I don't want my kid born with their organs on the outside of their body.
I don't know. I mean, I guess in some ways genetic engineering could be good, but as long as you're not doing it for your own selfish purposes.
That's what I'm saying. You know, it all depends.
Like, don't do it. Like, don't do it just because you want your child to be born with an IQ of like 583.
Well, no. I mean, I don't. In all honesty, I don't think that it should be.
I don't think it should be a thing at all. I mean, because, you know, That's Mother Nature. That's what happens.
It's not always Mother Nature. We have introduced so much chemicals and all that stuff into
the things we eat
into the earth and the air and all that kind of stuff. What about all those kids that were born from
Chernobyl?
What? No. We were like, one eye. No. But like, what I'm talking about is, okay, when they sprayed Agent Orange.
Yeah.
In the military.
Yeah.
And then these men went home to their wives. Okay, the government told these people, there's no ill effects.
Yeah, and they gave their wives syphilis, which in turn gave their children syphilis.
No, I'm talking Agent Orange.
Oh.
So, they, these kids were born all messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you were able to do, the engineering, you could take all that out. You could fix that problem.
True.
Now, if it's Mother Nature, fine. But we're also part responsible for the reason that some of the children are born really messed up.
True.
And that should be fixed because that's not the kid's fault, and that's not Mother Nature.
So it's an in-between.
I think it should be allowed, but to a certain extent.
Agreed.
The government should provide free birth control.
Yes. If they want to ban abortion, stop making it so hard for women to get birth control.
Right.
And that's all I got to say about it.
Companies should be required to hire 50% male and 50% female employees.
No. Mm-mm. Because there will be times where you have, men who work better than women and women who work better than men. Why hire 50% male and 50% female if 25 of the 50% over here don't know what the hell they're doing? And you have 15% of the women over here who don't know what they're doing.
I think in all actuality, on applications, the race should be removed.
Race and sex should be removed.
Sexual orientation, or whatever sex you are, that should be removed.
Yes.
And the only thing that remain on there, besides social security number, regular information,
are your qualifications.
Qualifications, but your last name.
Yes.
So that way, at least they know,
Yes. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, yellow, purple.
You should be hired for the job because you know how to do the job.
Exactly.
Not because you're a man or
a
because
woman.
you're a woman or because you're black or you're white.
Agreed.
Barbie is a good role model for young girls.
Hell no. Because for one, she's this skinny little perfect Barbie doll. No, that is absolutely not how women actually look like. Because her waistline is literally as wide as her eyeballs.
Well, they done a deal that if they took Barbie's proportions and put it on a real, life-size person,
she would die.
It doesn't even match up.
No.
I mean, if you are, they've done a lot since then.
Yeah.
Some of the Barbies are a little bit more fuller figured.
Yes.
They've got some Barbies that are bald. For cancer.
Yes,
kids.
they have black Barbies.
Yeah.
Mexican Barbies.
They're making it better than what it
Very
used to
slowly.
be. But it's still better than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But if you're taking like an old 1950s style Barbie and giving it to little girls nowadays, it creates, in my opinion, body image problems.
Create a horrible body image problem. So no, she is not an icon.
Burning the flag should be illegal.
Oh.
I don't know. I agree it should be illegal.
But I can understand why they're doing it.
Well, I can understand why it's not illegal or it shouldn't be illegal. And like I said, I also understand why it should be illegal. Because, if you want to be in this country, then you need to respect the country. If you
Yes.
don't want, if you hate this country so bad
Go somewhere
that
else.
you want to burn the flag, then by all means, move. Go somewhere
Right.
else. But if you sit there and go, okay, well, sorry, you can't burn the flag, then you're also stepping on their rights that we, you
Fight
know,
so hard for.
yeah.
But the thing is that okay, this is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but America isn't as great as everybody thinks it is.
No. We have a lot of problems.
We are the 15-year-old girl of the world. We create problems that don't even need to be there and get mad at the problems that we create.
True.
That's all I'm going to say about the issue.
The death penalty should be abolished.
No.
No.
I think they should bring back the death penalty for so many more things. Like pedophiles.
Oh yeah, you should have your junk cut off.
You should have your junk cut off, shoved it up your backside, and then have your backside sewn up.
I'd say like, super glue, like with like extra hard Gorilla Glue. I mean, just keep that in there, and then instead of doing the whole hanging or whatever, no firing squad, people like that, after you put their junk in strategic places in their body, it should be, you should make them just give them to the parents, give them to the community. Say, hey, here's all these rocks, here's all these bats with nails in them. Just here you go.
Have at it.
Here's the problem. Here's the person that that violated your child. Get it done.
Right. But still, they should still have the death penalty. It should be abolished.
True.
I mean, I think serial killers and pedophiles should get the death penalty.
Pretty much. I mean, if you, and this is going to go, and I know I'm going to say it, and it's going to go right back to the whole abortion thing, which it shouldn't. But, I think if you take someone's life knowingly, I mean, it's not like a heat of passion or whatever. If it's premeditated, you should, death penalty, period.
Unless it's an abortion. I don't think women should get the death penalty for getting an abortion.
Well, no.
Because at that point in time, the baby is not a living thing. It is not even a baby. It is a clump of cells. So necessarily, you're not killing anything. You're just removing cells out of your body.
Well, everybody's going to have their different opinions on it.
True.
But
We agree the death penalty should not be abolished.
Drug use should be treated as a mental health issue rather than a criminal offense.
Oh. Well, mental instabilities aren't necessarily a choice. And I agree, some drug addictions aren't a choice.
where do you draw that line? What drugs? What drugs are not a choice? Every drug is a choice.
Well, I understand that. But
The best way to explain it is every drug is a choice. Mental illness is not a choice.
True.
Okay, but a lot of people with mental illness use drugs to self-medicate.
Okay, but there's a difference between using drugs to self-medicate and becoming addicted to drugs. Now, are we talking prescription drugs or drugs you can get off the street?
Drugs, period. I mean, people...
Oh, but there's a fine line between prescription drugs and drugs you get off the street.
Kind of, not really. I mean, if you're abusing it, it doesn't matter if it's prescription or what you get off the streets. You're still abusing it. You're still becoming addicted.
Yes.
Okay?
I mean,
and then you got these pharmaceutical companies that they go, oh, okay, well, you've got pain. Here, let's give you some hydros.
Mm-hmm.
let's give you some Oxycontin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, well, that's not enough. Here, let's give you some more.
Exactly.
And then the next thing you know, these people are addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like what they're doing now. It's like, well, we have a big opioid problem in the United States, so we're going to cut back on your stuff.
I mean, that's the whole thing.
But you're not giving them another option.
That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, okay. I gotta remember what I was talking about. Anyways, what I was talking about was there are some drug addictions that were not created by choice. Like all these doctors giving you all these types of drugs for your pain, saying, oh, well, you need to take all of them and you're getting addicted. That's not necessarily your fault. But if you're going to go out and say, hey, I'm at a party, I'm going to try meth. That is a choice.
Yes, that is a choice.
So like I said, there's a fine line.
That's not mental health.
Well, I know that.
Okay.
I mean, the question was, should drug addicts be treated as if they have mental health issues instead of like criminals?
It all depends.
There is a fine line between it.
If you're self-medicating, then yes, it's a mental health issue. If you're doing it, just experimenting or getting high because you just want to get high.
Like I said, there's a fine line. So,
yeah, but personally, I don't think you should be, I don't think you should be going to jail because you choose to do drugs. It's a victimless crime.
Exactly.
Unless you create a victim.
Well, yeah.
Then you shouldn't go to jail. Period.
So
I say it depends.
All right, that was social debates here at the debate table, part 1. Make sure to like and subscribe. Woo!